4 Social Security mistakes that many people make. I'm going to help you avoid them. That and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, Social Security is an important piece of your retirement puzzle, and I know it's on a glide path towards insolvency, and yet you just gotta hope that they'll finally, probably at the 11th and a half hour, will fix it. But for most people, it's the bedrock of your retirement. Yeah, it's not going to provide 100%, maybe closer to 30 to 40% of what you're going to need. So you need to save up as well so that you can supplement it. But it's a foundational piece of your overall retirement. So it's important. It's also wildly complicated. There's all sorts of rules with how it's taxed and how the benefits are calculated and how you should draw them, all sorts of that. And so that makes, a pretty challenging environment, can make for a lot of financial stress. And yes, a lot of financial mistakes. What are some of the biggest Social Security mistakes that we see people make, and how can you avoid them? Well, the very first mistake is not keeping up on your Social Security statements or not knowing what your Social Security calculation is. Now, the reason why I put statements in quotation marks is, gosh, 20 years ago when I started my career, 21 years ago, they used to send, Social Security office used to send these Social Security statements. They were green text and 3 pages long, 5 pages long, something like that. And you'd get them about 3 months before your birthday every couple of years. And then when you got closer to retirement, they would send them to you every single year. And they weren't terribly helpful, but they provided some information on them. Here's what, at 62, this is what your retirement benefit, your Social Security benefit is calculated to be right now. Here's your full retirement age amount. Here's your age 70 amount. And then it had some other info as well. Now, they don't really send you those statements. It's online. You've got to go to ssa.gov. But an enhancement, instead of just showing those 3 different ages, benefits, what they would be at those ages, shows you at 62, at 63, at 64, at 65. There's some calculators, there's some planners in there as well. So biggest mistake, or number one mistake, is people don't stay on top of those. And I know it's a nuisance, and I know it takes a little bit of effort. They don't just send it to you in the mail, but here's why that's important. Why you want to avoid this mistake is, one, going to ssa.gov, logging in, checking out your Social Security benefits will, help you plan. You'll be able to see, well, how much benefit am I currently projected to collect if I draw at 62 or 63, at 64? And so you can provide that information to your CFP. It can help with their calculations, to help with your own calculation. So it helps you plan ahead. That's number one. But B, the second benefit of checking out your Social Security benefit online is one of the other things that, the mailing used to have as well, but you can definitely see it online, is all your earnings history, essentially how your Social Security is calculated, what your earnings history is that goes into the calculation of Social Security. Every so often, not for everyone, but every so often, that information is incorrect. And you're gonna wanna take a look at that to make sure that the Social Security Administration is tracking actual kind of factual data there, and it's accurate, so that when it comes time to actually draw Social Security, you're not looking and saying, oh, there's an issue, there's an error, now I need to contact Social Security office and get this corrected before I can draw. So gives you that second benefit of double checking the earnings history and all of that information to ensure it's accurate. Second mistake we see a lot of people make with Social Security is not understanding full retirement age. I just explained that for most people, in most circumstances, the earliest you can draw your Social Security benefit is at age 62. But really, it's not just on each birthday, it's really any month. Any month you can draw from 62 to age 70. Age 70 is the last date at which your Social Security will continue to grow for you. And so at age 70, if you haven't collected by then, you should start collecting at that point. But it's not just on your birthday, or it's not just on certain specific times. You could start your benefit at any of those months once you're eligible. So why does a full retirement age even matter? Used to be age 65. They've been trending it towards 67. For most of us, it's age 67. They'll probably be moving that out into the future. But why is it even important? Well, the primary reason, and I know you might look at some articles or hear some folks say, well, that's your primary insurance amount, and then if you draw earlier, it's reduced, or if you draw later, it grows. Yeah, you can see, that's important, but you can see all those numbers when you log into SSA.gov and look at your benefit. So you can see it. So you can see that there's a benefit to delaying. But the big reason that from a planning standpoint is if you draw Social Security before your full retirement age and you're still working, then you should be aware how much you're able to earn before your Social Security is penalized. That's right. Working, continuing to work before your full retirement age and draw Social Security can be dangerous if you make too much at your job. Therefore, you want to know what are those thresholds. And for many people, many people draw Social Security immediately at 62, and they just assume, well, I'll just keep working, I've got this extra income, and so I'll be flush with cash for a little while. And they don't realize then that their Social Security is going to start being penalized and could be reduced all the way to zero, even though they've started drawing it and they are kind of foregoing future growth. So not understanding the full retirement age and how that plays into when you're going to retire, how much you're going to work, when you should draw your Social Security, a second big mistake. Third big mistake with Social Security, and guys, this could be number one, period. Like this is the biggie. Done lots of videos on this, and I'm just going to lump all of the mistakes into one category because it fits, and that is not optimizing when you're going to draw your Social Security. Not optimizing when you're going to draw your Social Security. There is no one size fits all. It does not make sense for every person to delay until age 70. It does not make sense for every person to delay until their full retirement age. It also does not make sense for every person to draw immediately as soon as they retire or right at 62. There isn't a one size fits all. I've seen more and more financial articles out there or blog posts or videos of people suggesting that there is a one size fits all approach. And I think the only reason they say that is because that's what people like to hear. It's not that complicated, just draw immediately. Now, there isn't a one size fits all. I'll tell you, before I recorded this video, I had a meeting with some clients and their situation, I'm recommending they delay until age 70. Now, their financial situation's very unique. Their health situation is interesting as well. And in their situation, I would delay until age 70. And we're going to play that by ear. He's 65, she's 63. And so every single year or as we meet, we'll take a look. And is that still the right idea? For them, that makes sense. For many other people, it's draw right away or as soon as you retire. And so not optimizing, not planning ahead and taking a look at your individual circumstances, your health situation, the other retirement income sources you have, your tax picture, not looking at all 6 areas of your financial life can absolutely encourage you or lead someone to make a financial mistake and not optimize for Social Security. Other factors that you've got to look at is spousal benefits, either from your current marriage or if you're divorced, then a prior marriage. Looking at survivorship benefits if you are a widow or widower. All of that plays into how should you optimize your Social Security and when you should draw. There is no one size fits all. This is, I would argue, the biggest Social Security mistake that people make. You can prevent it by working with your CFP and laying out, well, based on all 5 factors of your retirement plan and your entire financial situation, if you draw at this time, this is what it will look like. If you wait and draw at this later date, this is the confidence rate. This is what your financial life is projected to turn out to be if you draw at the earliest point, and you can optimize and see that. Sometimes, as a financial planner working with individuals, we'll optimize and kind of share that analysis, and we'll have clients say, you know what, I want to do this. That's fine. That is fine. But having that awareness up front to say, well, what's the optimal time and strategy for drawing? Gosh, that's what you need to do as opposed to just drawing immediately or as soon as you can. And then the last big mistake that we see people make with drawing Social Security is not understanding how Social Security is taxed. And you might say, well, why do I really, care about that? Well, your Social Security, the amount of tax that you pay on your Social Security depends on how much other income you have. And you have influence over that other income. And what I mean by that is you have influence over, well, do you draw more out of your IRA or draw more out of your Roth IRA? Do you manage your budget in such a way that you draw out extra from your IRA or draw out the least amount possible, doing a Roth conversion, doing, selling an investment? All of those things, anything that can land on your tax return is going to influence whether and how much tax you pay on your Social Security, and therefore not understanding that calculation or that connection can lead you to make some big mistakes. And these are not enjoyable tax years when you sit down and calculate your taxes, or hopefully work with your CFP and CPA, and you do the taxes and you say, oh gosh, all of this, so much of my Social Security landed on my tax return, and I was not prepared for that, and now I owe a lot of money. Doing proactive tax planning with your CFP is going to help you avoid that and prevent that. But mistake number 4, not understanding how Social Security is taxed. So those are 4 of the biggest mistakes that people often make with Social Security. Working with your certified financial planner, you can avoid each of those mistakes, and you can actually turn from, well, how can I avoid mistakes, to how can I be opportunistic with Social Security and your entire financial plan and retirement plan. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.